Thank you, Steve. So using the annotation tool or the chat box, would you let me know some key takeaways from session 1? So the easiest thing may be to click on the T for the text box, and you can type right there on that little whiteboard on the screen. And also, do you have any unresolved questions? You can type those on the screen or in the chat box, or unmute your microphone if you would like. Black means red for emails and e-notification. That's wonderful. That's a great takeaway for Monday. Also, one thing that comes to my mind is that 100% of the pool and loan data should be reported by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the second business day. Yep, so wonderful. Due dates and correction due dates, right? The corrections on the fourth business day. The color red is not red. Wonderful. Contact numbers and information. Yes, the ginniemay.gov website. The loan numbers per pool in the e-notification. That's a good one. We will get an e-notification if we have less than 3 admins. That is true. Critical exception, 7 p.m., day 4. Due dates, e-notifications, and check often. Also, yes, that's good. One other thing in e-notification, you should download if there are any attachments, because like the pre-collection notice and the commitment authority, all those they overwrite, whenever a new one is posted. So to make sure you have all the attachments. Report day 2 by 7 p.m. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Colin, could you please export this slide before we move on? Thank you so much. In session 1, I covered the issuer's primary responsibilities and subservicing partnerships. Steve covered the resources and reference documentation available to issuers on the Ginnie Mae website and touched on some Ginnie Mae terms. I covered the monthly reporting timeline, including the major deadlines for missing pool and loan data and when critical alerts must be cleared. Nancy explained the e-notification process. Today, we will focus on the 3 bolded modules on this slide. We will dive right in to RFS monthly reporting of pool and loan data. In this module, we will explain the 4 types of RFS records, how to edit the records appropriately, define which calculations RFS performs, and distinguish which fields issuers are responsible for reporting and editing. It is very important that 100% of the pool and loan data be reported by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the second business day in RFS. Also, critical exceptions must be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th business day. The best way to know that 100% of pool and loan data is reported on the second business day is to view the summary screen and ensure that the reported loans and pools balance to the expected loans and pools. Also, you should view the Exceptions tab and ensure that there are no outstanding RFS 111 missing pool exceptions and no outstanding RFS 204 missing loan exceptions. The 4 RFS records are pool, loan, sensitive, and various, which we will cover in detail over the next section of slides. Ginnie Mae MBS Guide 6-19, which Steve discussed on Monday, gives a full description of each record. This appendix can be found on ginniemay.gov pool.gov website and also on the link provided at the bottom of the slide. The pool record contains data elements related to the Ginnie Mae pool and is required each month. One record reports one pool. Therefore, if you have 10 active pools, then your RFS file should have 10 pool records. The information in the P record represents the monthly cumulative pool status as of your Ginnie Mae cutoff. The P record includes unscheduled principal. Unscheduled principal is liquidations, which are payoffs, buyouts, and loss meant, to name a few. Curtailments, adjustments, and claim funds are also considered to be unscheduled principal. These funds roll into the pool record from the loan record and reduces the security RPB. Page 7 of Appendix 6-19 displays the P record layout. Also, at the very bottom of the screen, there is a sample of the P record is displayed. It is a string of text with specific start and end points for each field reported on the P record. Please note that some of the fields are signed fields showing a plus or a minus. Important RFS calculations. On the pool record, the 7 below fields are calculated for processing and editing for loan and pool accounting and for 11710A pool summary data. The security RPB is reported by the issuer. The 7 fields calculated by RFS and not reported by the issuer are open security RPB, scheduled principal, interest due security holder, cash due security holder, the calculated closing security balance, guarantee fee, and liquidations in full FIC. Issuers report adjustment to FIC and closing FIC. RFS calculates and compares the adjustment, the closing FIC behind the scenes. Please raise your hand if you are familiar with the 11710A. Oh, wonderful. Look at all those hands. That is fabulous. Look at all those names I recognize in the attendees list. That's great. Thank you so much, everyone. Colin, if you could please clear the hands. The pool record has a total of 25 fields. This slide shows fields 1 through 9. The pool record always begins with the letter P. The 2 fields that generate the most exceptions are bolded. Pool FIC has to agree to the cumulative active loan FIC, and weighted average interest rate must be reported on Ginnie Mae 2 pools. This shows fields 10 through 17. The final security RPB is the value that RFS releases to the CPTA after 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th business day. And this shows fields 18 through 25, which is the end of the P record. Please note that fields 20 through 23 only apply to multifamily pools. Now we will move on to the loan record. The loan record contains data elements related to active loans within a Ginnie Mae pool and is required each month. One record reports one loan. The information in the L record represents the monthly cumulative loan status as of your Ginnie Mae cutoff. The L record includes reporting liquidations on a loan within the report period. A UL ID, which is the unique loan ID, is assigned by Ginnie Mae and needs to be input into your servicing system for reporting to RFS. UL ID is posted in e-notification as a text file, which was discussed on Monday during the e-notification section. Page 12 of Appendix 6-19 displays the L record layout. At the very bottom of the screen, there is a sample of the L record. It is a string of text with specific start and end points for each field reported in the L record. The loan record has a total of 29 fields. This slide shows fields 1 through 8. The loan record always begins with the letter L. The 3 fields that generate the most exceptions are bolded. Case number, first payment date, and loan maturity date should all match the reported values on the 11706. Case number layout for each agency can be found in APM 02-17. The first payment date and loan maturity date for modified loans will be discussed on Friday. This slide shows fields 19 through 15. Loan OPB must agree to the original note even if the loan has been modified. Last installment paid date should be reported when a full P&I payment has been received. This shows fields 16 through 21. All collections of interest and principal should be reported in fields 18 and 19 when collected within the reporting cycle. If you collect more than one payment within the reporting cycle, a total must be reported in field 18 through 19. Ryan, it looks like we've not being able to see the slides.
How about now? I just tried to sync everything. Something happened there. Okay, now.
Okay, now everyone can see it. Okay, so, okay. So
Yeah,
we
we should
see
be on
9 through 15. Okay. All right, so I'm not sure when, let's go back a couple slides. So did everyone get to see the loan record slide on slide 16? Yes, okay, wonderful. And then what about the slide fields 1 through 8? Yes, okay, perfect. So now 9 through 15. Okay, so this shows fields 9 through 15. The loan OPB should agree with the original note even if the loan has been modified. The last installment date should be reported when a full P&I payment is received. This shows fields 16 through 21. All collections of interest and principal should be reported in fields 18 and 19 when collected within the reporting cycle. If you collect more than one payment within the reporting cycle, a total must be reported in fields 18 and 19. And this shows fields 22 through 29, which is the end of the L record. The loan UPB must be reported even if the loan is being liquidated. The liquidation information is in fields 24 through 28. I will now turn it over to Steve.
Thanks, Christy. All right. Christy took us through the pool record and the loan record, both required fields in your monthly reporting. I will now take you through the sensitive loan record and the various loan record. The sensitive loan record is an optional record for static information and contains personally identifiable information, PII. It is only reported if there's a correction or incomplete data. This can't be stressed enough because Ginnie Mae does not need the static data reported month after month after month. We'll see some of this information in the upcoming slides, and you'll see that this is truly static information, whereas the pool and the loan record, those values will change month to month to month. On page 20 of Appendix VI-19 is where you will find the sensitive loan record. You can see a sample on any of these slides with the colorful circles. You can see a sample record at the bottom. All sensitive records begin with an S, and you could see some of our fake information there: street address, town, state, zip code, and some other information here. Okay. This is fields 1 through 10 on the sensitive loan record. You can see that we do begin with an S for every sensitive loan record. The unique loan ID is the same unique loan ID that is reported on the L record for the loan. So this will tie those two together in terms of information. The loan street of the property, the city, state, and zip. Then what you'll see following is we have 5 sets of SSN, first name, last name. Now the SSN for single family is the Social Security number of the borrower. It is a little different for multifamily, but we won't go into that today. And on you can see the first name of borrower 1 and last name of borrower 2. Okay. All right. Then what we're going to see is, you can see SSN1, first name, last name, then SSN2, first name, last name, and 3 different sets of borrowers. So Ginnie Mae will collect up to 5 borrowers per loan. All right. So you can see this is truly static information, and there is not going to be a lot of variability. So only when a correction is needed will a sensitive record need to be submitted. Okay. All right, now on to the various loan record. The various loan record was introduced some number of years ago for additional loan information that was static information for the loan in the pool. The various loan record is a record that begins with a V. It contains static information, and this follows the submissions to at pooling on the 11706 scheduled pool mortgages. So the various loan items that are in the various field, some of them are what we consider control fields. Control fields are fields that Ginnie Mae really wants to track to see if there are any changes, and they're subject to a suspense process. We'll get into that a little bit. In a little bit of summary on that, if you have a value that is a controlled field, you submit it at pooling, like let's say a loan purpose. Loan purpose 1 is purchase. If you report a various loan record with a loan purpose other than purchase, let's say a refi, which is 2, then that value, that 2 value, will be suspended, and you will be asked to verify if that is a correction to the initial value, which was a 1 purchase, or if you made a mistake on your monthly report where the refi is not the actual value and you accidentally reported a 2 instead of the 1. Okay. Page 23 of Appendix VI 19 is where you will find the various loan record. And you can see the sample here at the bottom, begins with a V. And we'll, rather than explain this, you could just see that that's what this record will look like when you submit it. What I'd like to do now is stop and take a second. Either raise your hand or give me a thumbs up if you have worked with the various loan record. I see a few. Now, it's an optional record, so I wouldn't expect that everyone would have worked with the various loan record. Okay. All right, a little bit of interaction with the various loan record. We get about, I'd say between 30 and 45 issuers that submit various loan records that do have control fields that are suspended every month. So I wouldn't expect to see everybody's hand raised there. So that's about what I expected. Now, if your subservicer is submitting for you, make sure that they know that the sensitive record and the various loan record are optional records that should only report values that are changing from those initially submitted at pooling. Okay? Make sure that they know. All right, talking a little bit about the monthly process flow for various. I went over a little bit of this. The various data is initially entered into Ginnie Mae systems at GinnieNet at pool delivery. RFS is updated with that information when that information comes from GinnieNet to RFS. So we'll take that data and we'll use that as the basis for that suspense process. As I mentioned, the various loan record is used for changing, to correct data that was incorrect at time of pooling. Okay, I went through the suspense process. If you do get a suspense on your various loan record, you will get an e-notification. We went through that yesterday as one of the options of files that you'll get in e-notification is an e-notification that you have at least one various suspense item that you should take a look at. All right. There is a process in RFS for how you address those suspense items. In essence, you'll be able to download those, see what the changes are, and then you can contact Ginnie Mae Various at Deloitte.com with the responses on your various loan record suspense items. So let's say you have 100 loans in your portfolio. You submit various loan records for 10 of those, and 3 of those 10 suspend. So when you go to download your suspense items, you'll have a set of 3 loans that you need to address. You'll look at the values at pooling, and you'll be given the values that you submitted on the various loan record. And then if all the items that you submitted on the various loan record are acceptable, you'll say accept in the suspense process, and then send that back to Ginny Mae Various at Deloitte.com. If any one of those items on the various loan record are incorrect, then you'll hit reject, and then we won't make those changes. So this is another way of Ginny Mae looking at the control process for data on the various loan record. Because this is static data, Ginny Mae we don't want updated credit scores. We don't want changes in LTV or CLTV. Those are some of the common ones that we see. All right, and we'll go through. What we're going to do now is go through the items in the various loan record, and I'll talk through some of these. As I mentioned, the letter V will always start a various loan record. This is the same unique loan ID that we saw in the loan record and in the sensitive record. Items that we have here, living units, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. Most that we see are 1, but this is data that you reported at time of pooling. Okay. You'll notice for living units, you'll see an asterisk. And any of the fields that have an asterisk, loan purpose, loan to value, these are the control fields. Okay, so that will indicate that's a control field. The loan purpose, as I mentioned, was regular purchase, refinance, modification with a HAMP, modification non-HAMP, and for RG pools, which just got introduced this year, the loan purpose is reperforming. All RG pool types have a 5 reperforming, and 5 only applies to RG pools. It's a special pool type that just got introduced this year. Okay. Now in the instructions on VI 19, starting at page 23, each of the descriptions will say whether or not this is a single family, this applies to single family loans or multifamily loans. So most of the items in the various loan record are single family only, and only a few, like the debt service ratio here, number 7, is a multifamily. Now, when you submit your various loan record and it does not apply, you just leave blanks there. Okay, so you'll see that if I go back one slide, back a few slides here, you can see there are blanks in the submission, and those may be items that don't apply. Okay, as I mentioned, the credit score is the credit score at pooling. Ginny Mae does not want updated credit scores. We cannot stress that enough. This is just the credit score at pooling. Credit score is a control field. The next set here that we have, the loan buy down code, the MIN, which is the value in MERS. If that applies, there's also the MOM, which is the MERS original mortgage value. Neither of those are control fields. GEM percent increase, and you'll notice that the decimals are included in this record. So if you have a rate of 1.25, then it'll be 01.2500. Okay. The down payment assistance flag is provided there. If there are borrower funds for that process, you would put a yes for 1, no gift assistance for 2. And the CLTV, this is the combined LTV. This there is an APM, I believe it's 1205, that gives the details on the CLTV and reporting requirements. Okay, but this is combined LTVs. So the combined LTV should never be below the LTV because it's combined. So it should be the same or above. And we do have an edit. We have a loan level edit, a low exception for that if we do detect that the CLTV is lower than the LTV. All right, continuing on, fields 15 through 20, the total debt expense ratio percent. The refinance type, this only applies to refinances, which is loan purpose 2. And there are options there for that. The pre-modified fields, the next 4, are only for loan purpose 3 or 4, which are modification HAMP and modification non-HAMP. If you report a modification, you need to report at least one of these modification fields. So we have the first installment due date, the pre-mod OPB, the pre-mod interest rate, and the loan maturity. Now you will notice that in the descriptions, it will tell you information about what type of information to report. This is, if you look at the pre-mod OPB, the unmodified OPB of the loan per the original note. Okay, so we have included information in there when you're reporting a modification of the type of information to give us. The interest rate of the unmodified original note. Okay, most of these are the original values. The maturity date of the loan per the original note. Continuing on, we have the first time homebuyer indicator, yes, no, blank, the third party origination type, the upfront MIP and the annual MIP. This is FHA data only, so these only apply to FHA loans, and the loan origination date. If you have any questions on the various loan record, put it in the chat right now, and we'll try and address those.
Steve, we do have one question from Mary.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
I just don't know if everyone saw it, so I thought we would cover it.
So the various loan record can update data incorrectly reported. Is this for the first payment due date and maturity date? So that's a great question. The various record, so any of the items in the various record that were reported at time of pooling and were incorrectly reported at time of pooling are candidates to be submitted on the various loan record for correction. Okay, Mary, let me know in the chat if that answered your question.
Right, and then I had also added to the answer in the chat, Steve, that the first payment date and the maturity date are part of the loan record, which the issuer should be reporting the information that was input into GennyNet on the 11706. That's what they should be reporting in RFS.
Got it. I see that.
For those dates.
I see that.
Right. Right. And then it does look like
I see
Colleen has a question. Yep.
When using a subservicer who normally corrects the various loan level record in RFS single family pool accounting, the issuer or the subservicer? Well, that's a great question. There's no definitive answer on that in the sense that the issuer is responsible for all your reporting, whether or not you report or your subservicer. So I would have a good relationship with your subservicer to know who has the responsibility for that reporting. That's and you may have different conditions. You may have, well, if it's if it's one loan, or if it's a handful of loans, you'll do it online, or but make sure that you know who has that responsibility between your subservicer and yourself. Ultimately, the issuer is responsible for the reporting, whether it's done at the issuer or with the subservicer. Okay. Do you have to receive various loan record rejections to make changes? No. That's a good question, Carter. You will receive, I believe, the suspense process will send the e-notification out on the 7th business day, and you have until the 20th calendar day to make corrections. So if you see that you reported incorrectly on a various loan record prior to receiving that notification, that e-note on the 7th business day, you can go in and make corrections on your own, and you can do that through. We'll cover the screens a little bit later, but you will be able to go online, or you could submit another file with a correction V record to your previously submitted V record. So I think that might answer your question. Let me see. All right. Perfect. Okay. All right. Thank you for your questions. I know if you had that question, there were probably 10 others that had that same question. So I appreciate the feedback. All right. Now, since we tried out our annotation bar earlier, we're going to do that again. We're going to have 4 different questions here. We have 4 different records. And what I'd like you to do is place a sticker discreetly on the record type that applies. Which one of these records, or multiple, contains static information? Go ahead and vote. All right. I'll give it another minute here. Okay, we have good voting coverage here. I like it. The sensitive record and the various record are the records that contain static information. All right. So while there may be a field that is static information on the pool record or loan record, those are considered non-static records. All right, could you clear those? Now the second one, which of these records includes unscheduled principal? Okay, we have good voting here. Okay, the answer is the pool record contains unscheduled principal in the form of the curtailments. Well, the curtailments are on the loan record, so maybe I think that's why we have the some voting on the L record as well. And then there is RPB adjustment field as well for unscheduled principal on the pool record. All right. Next one, only reported if there's a change to data that was initially submitted on the form 11706. Very good voting. All right. Excellent. Your answer is correct. The various loan record is initially submitted on the form 11706. And lastly, represents the end of the report period status of the loan. All right. Looks like a fancy pizza there on the loan record. That's correct. The loan record is the answer there. All right. Colin, if you could remove the annotation tool, and our voting time is over, so I will turn this back over to Christy.
Thank you so much, Steve. In this module, we will define common exception messages and summarization alerts, explain how to navigate the exception feedback summary screen, and list the steps on how to download your exception feedback CSV file. RFS is the reporting and feedback system. Both pool and loan level information may be entered online in RFS, or a file may be uploaded. Any information input into RFS is subject to editing. This upload exception feedback is provided for any files that are accepted and can be viewed on the functional acknowledgement screen in RFS and also within eNotification. This is the initial edit process. Data uploaded or entered manually online will be processed by RFS and will be summarized only if 90% of the data has been reported and are accepted. The summarize process performs the accounting calculations for pools and loans within the issuer's portfolio. Summarization occurs automatically when the issuer has reported 90% of the pool and loan data. Also, there is a nightly bulk summarization for all issuers meeting the 90% criteria to include any data manually entered online in RFS. If 90% of data is not accepted, the summarization process was not completed. The summary screen will not display correct values. The issuer should review the following 3 exception feedback items. First, navigate to RFS to exception feedback, then the summary screen. This provides a snapshot of the monthly reporting activity and total number of outstanding exceptions. Then click the Exceptions tab at the top of the screen to display a snapshot of outstanding exceptions. By clicking the Download tab and clicking Download Exceptions, this will download a full list of outstanding exceptions in a CSV file. A best practice would be to save this download of exceptions daily. Summarization performs important calculations in RFS, which include the number of pulls expected and the number of pulls reported by the issuer, the number of loans expected and the number of loans reported by the issuer, the loan level delinquency based on the current reporting period from Field 3 of the file header record, and the last installment date from Field 12 of the loan record. The pull FIC is compared to the loan level reported FIC, and the principal and interest collected, which is summarized from the loan level. As a reminder, there is a nightly bulk summarization for all issuers that have reported at least 90% of their pull and loan data. This shows a snippet of Appendix 6-19 and possible exception messages for each field. Using the annotation tool, Colin, if you could turn on the annotation tool, please. Would you please place a sticker on the RFS 111 exception? An E-level RFS 111 exception explains that there is no activity reported for the current reporting period, which means the pull is missing. This exception would display on the pull screen in RFS and would appear on the exception download CSV file. To fix the RFS 111 exception, the pull would have to be manually entered into RFS on the pull screen, or a file would have to be uploaded that included the missing pull. Also, summarization alerts are italicized in Appendix 6-19 and only appear in RFS once 90% of the issuer's data is reported in RFS. Wonderful. Look at all those fabulous stickers. That is just great. Thank you so much. Page 1 and 5 of Appendix 6-19 explains the severity level of exceptions. If you receive an error or E-level exceptions, then your record did not load into RFS. E-level exceptions can occur on any of the 4 types of records, which are pull, loan, sensitive, and various. The RFS 111 missing pull exceptions must be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 2nd business day. Other outstanding E-level exceptions are expected to be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th business day. Critical or C-level exceptions are related to remittance and/or disclosure data. These only occur to pull and loan level reporting. The C RFS 204 missing loan exceptions must be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 2nd business day. Other outstanding C-level exceptions are expected to be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th business day. High or H-level exceptions are related to pull and/or loan level reporting. Medium or M-level exceptions are related to loan matching and/or suspense. Low or L-level exceptions may occur on any information on the 4 types of records. Let's see, Colin, you have the annotation tool on. So using the annotation tool, please place a sticker on the critical severity level. The error and critical exceptions should be cleared either on the 2nd or the 4th business day, and the high, medium, and low exception should be addressed by the 10th business day. Fabulous. Look at all those annotations. So we got a few people that put it on the E level. So yes, so the critical are the C level exceptions. Thank you so much for participating. To access the summary screen in RFS, log into My Ginnie Mae and RFS, hover over RFS and click the Exception Feedback module, which is displayed in the red box. The Exception Feedback screen is displayed. This screen shows a roll-up of all of the pull and loan level information that has been accepted from a file upload or manual entry for the current month. Note, a drop-down box will display the current month report period and 17 prior months of data. You may only update the current month's data. If you are missing current data, this is where you would find the difference in the reported versus the expected loans and pulls. On this particular issuer, there are 95 reported loans and 99 expected loans. Therefore, this issuer is missing 4 loans. There are 14 reported pulls and 19 expected pulls on the bottom half of the screen. Therefore, this issuer is missing 5 pulls. Using the annotation tool, could you please indicate where on the screen you can see the number of outstanding exceptions? Wonderful. Yes, you do see them kind of there in the middle on the left side of the screen. That is great. Thank you so much. Yes, there are 14 outstanding pull exceptions and 142 outstanding loan exceptions for this issuer. Here is the Exceptions tab, which displays the outstanding exceptions. If you were missing pulls or loans, this is where you would see the count of the missing RFS 111 pull exceptions, which there are 5, and the outstanding for missing loan RFS 204 exceptions. This particular issuer has a lot of other outstanding exceptions also. There are 2 ways to retrieve your pull and loan level exceptions. Issuers may go to the Exceptions tab from the Exception Feedback module in RFS and click the blue link to view them through the Exceptions tab. Or the issuer may download a CSV file. Downloading a full list of exceptions is recommended. Cullen, please turn on the annotation tool. Using the annotation tool, please place a sticker on which of these 2 options you use or you would use most frequently to view exceptions. Wonderful. Yes, download is wonderful. We've got a few online. Okay. Thank you so very much. To download exceptions into a CSV file, navigate to the Exception Feedback module and then click on the Download tab, which we have here in the red box. Then click the Download Exceptions in the dark blue bar. To download a list of all of your outstanding exceptions, click the Download button at the bottom of the screen. Also, if your organization is a subservicer, you may check the Download Subserviced Issuers box on the right side of the page to download all of your active exceptions for all of your issuers that you subservice for. After clicking the download button at the bottom of the previous slide, the instructions page will display. Please follow the instructions by right-clicking on the Download Exception CSV file. If you select the Open in New Window option, that is in the box on the bottom right-hand corner of this slide, the CSV file opens and will display all of your outstanding exceptions. Please save this file as Excel. As a homework question, can someone explain how to use this exception feedback file? If so, please unmute yourself and share. Ryan, would you like to give the microphone instructions again?
Yeah, just as far as microphone connectivity at this point, should be very simple. Just click on the microphone to unmute, or if we haven't activated it yet, I see a lot of gray microphones next to their names. Just click on the microphone. You'll see a quick notification that the microphone has been connected. Then click it again to mute, and then feel free to unmute at any time just by simply clicking the microphone again.
Okay. So do I have anyone that would like to share?
Hey, Christy, this is Ryan from Planet Home Lending.
Hey, Ryan.
How are you?
Good.
So
How are you?
Good. So what we do is after we download the file, we have a custom sort to sort everything by severity. And so we start with our e-exceptions immediately right after the first morning after cutoff, and work through the exceptions first, then work through the critical exceptions to identify each pool or loan that may potentially need adjustments.
Wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much, Ryan. Oh, thank you, Mary, for saying that you do the same. That is wonderful. Thank you. After clearing any exceptions, issuers should always save and summarize the pool activity record by clicking the Save and Summarize Pool button at the bottom of the pool screen. If you have reported or updated a loan record without clicking the Save and Summarize Pool button at the bottom of the pool screen, the calculated pool security RPB may change and create new exceptions after the nightly bulk summarization. A quick story. On the third business day, if an issuer liquidates a loan and does not save and sum the pool, then on the morning of the fourth business day, the issuer will have multiple critical exceptions on the pool record. Then the issuer will need to clear these critical exceptions prior to 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the fourth business day. Colin, would you please post our first polling question? Thank you so much. So now if I could have all of the participants please answer this first polling question. How are summarization alerts identified in Appendix 6-19, Report of Pool and Loan Data? So this is actually back when we done the screen print and you put the sticker on the RFS 111 exception in 6-19. So if anyone remembers exactly how that text was in 6-19. Wonderful. Hey, it looks like we've got 115 participants. So if we could get everyone to participate and vote, that would be fabulous. Even our Ginnie Mae account executives are welcome to vote. Okay, I will go ahead and end this poll. So here it does look like we have 59%, which would be 38 participants that have voted for the correct answer. So yes, the exception messages are printed in italicized text. Colin, if you could post the next question, please, sir. Thank you. So what percent of data must load for summarization to occur? And if you remember on multiple slides, I kept talking about a certain percentage. So if I could get all of my 115 participants to vote, that would be excellent. We will give this just a few more seconds. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. And it does look like we had 56, which is 68% of the participants that voted, select the correct answer. Of the 90%, yes, so 90% of accepted data must be reported before summarization can occur. Colin, could you post our last question for me, please, sir? Thank you. So here, why is the S record noted as sensitive data? And so this would be one of the items that Steve went over and whenever he presented the S record. Wonderful. Got a lot of participation. That's great. Give it a few more seconds. I'll go ahead and close the poll. And yes, 74 folks, which is 89%, voted for the correct answer. It is because the S record includes the PII information. Colin, if you could close the poll, please. Thank you. We will now take a 10-minute break and reconvene to continue training, which Steve will be proceeding. Ryan, would you please start our 10-minute timer, and we will return at 11:27. Thank you.
Okay, we'll resume now. Colin, if you could remove the countdown. Thank you. All right. A lot that we did this morning was on the types of data to report. The second half here, we're a little over halfway, and we go until noon. So we're going to now go through some of the reporting workflow to kind of connect all those pieces together to make it make sense out of the process for monthly reporting. Okay, so Here, what we're going to do in this piece is we're going to talk about the different ways to report loan and pool data. We're going to talk about which records are required to be reported. We're going to talk about how to report corrections and how to also confirm that files were uploaded successfully. This is all tying together those four records that we talked about earlier. All right, the reporting for pool and loan level data and sensitive and various, but for mainly the pool and loan data, there are two ways here via the portal, the Jenny Mae Enterprise portal. Online entry is available for all of your loans and pools, anything that's active. We have activity screens for both of those, and file upload. So you can upload a file through the portal with a reasonable size. If you have a larger size file, you're really one of the larger ones, you should take the time to set up an SFTP account and submit your data through SFTP. Colin, would you put the annotation tool up? Please, issuers, please put a sticker on the option that you use most frequently. Now, obviously, if you have a lot of loan and pool level data, you're not going to go in and do online entry exclusively. If you have 10,000 loans and 1,000 pools, you're probably not going to do that much online entry. All right, so we're mostly through the portal. I see some SFTP. All right, great. Thank you so much for that. All right, Colin, if you could remove the annotation tool. To report corrections, those are reported. There we are. To report corrections, those are reported in the same formats, the P, the L, the S, and the V. No change in terms of corrections. You use the same records. RFS processes files automatically as they're received, and there's no special record type or transaction for corrections. The last in record becomes the data of record for the report period. Now, when we talk about this, let's say you report three files on the second business day, one file on the third business day, and one file on the fourth business day. Those are the files that you've submitted. Each time you report your record, that's the latest set of data. If you're reporting all of your data every time, then it's then the last one in. If you're reporting, let's say, 95% or 100% on the first record, and you're only making corrections to 10% on the subsequent records, the last time that you report a loan or pool is the last record in. Okay, and RFS retains only the most recently submitted data. So if you report that loan 3 times, we're not keeping a record of the first 2. We're only keeping a record of that last report. Okay. And if you use a service bureau, you should know their schedule of when they submit the file. We said that 100% of loan and pool data needs to be reported by 7 p.m. on the second business day, you should ensure that your service bureau is following that schedule. All right. Okay, when submitting a file, how do you know that that file was successfully submitted and received? There are two ways. What Ginnie Mae does is they provide a functional acknowledgement for every file that is submitted. The functional acknowledgement comes in e-notification, and you can get your exception feedback via a download. Please put a sticker on the option that you prefer for viewing your functional acknowledgements. Do you get those through e-notification, or do you receive those via download? Okay. Almost 50-50, a little more in e-notification. Very good. All right. Colin, if you could clear those. In viewing functional acknowledgements, this is a screenshot of the options listed in the portal under RFS. And you can see there the exception feedback, pool accounting single family, and we'll touch on some of these other modules in the future. But if you notice there, we have exception feedback. This is the way that you're going to get your functional acknowledgements online. Once you're in exception feedback, you can see that's the main bar. There are a couple options here. Christy talked about the summary. You can see your exceptions, but we're going to focus on the downloads here. Okay. Once you're in your downloads, you're still under exception feedback. Now you're under downloads, and you have a list of different options on this blue bar here. The first one, the default, is your issuer FA list. And when you put in your issuer ID and your report period, click go, it will show you a listing of all the files that you've submitted for that period for that issuer ID. Okay. If you can see this in the red box there, raise your hand if one or more of the files was rejected. Okay, a few voting. Very good. Very good. Yes, you'll notice these all look the same. You could see the file is the file indicator of the file name is listed there, the file size, the receipt date, how many pools, how many loans are in there, and you could see if the file was accepted or rejected. An A for accept, R for reject. By clicking on any one of these files, you see the blue link there, you can access the details of that file. The file name, you can see this one was accepted, the pool count, loan count, sensitive count, and various count within that submitted file. All right. This is an example of a functional acknowledgement that was rejected. You'll notice this one had a small number of various, no sensitive record, pool record, or loan records, but this tells you that the length of the header record is not 11. And that's a requirement for the header records. So the entire file of this number of various records or various loans was rejected. Okay, so this is how you find out information about your file submissions. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit about online data entry. Where we're looking here at pool accounting single family. You've already logged into the GMAP, and under RFS single family, pool accounting single family, the first page that you come to is the home page. The home, there's a pool tab, loan tab, quarterly verification, remittance advice, and the user guide. The pool is where you're going to report your pool level information, your pool record. The loan is where you access the loan, sensitive loan, various loan, and loan liquidation. Okay. All right. What we have here is the pool activity screen. So if you click on that pool, it brings you to the pool activity screen. And when you put in your user ID and your pool ID and the report period, you'll get the pool information that has been reported for that pool. And if you'll notice a few things, in the upper right-hand corner, you can view the 11710A for that pool. This is based on your reporting of that loan. And you can notice at the bottom, there is custodial bank information and a pool transfer history, which is relatively new. And if you click on either of those plus signs, it'll expand and give you information about that. All right. At the bottom, you'll also notice the Save and Summarize pool button. We'll touch a little bit on that in a coming slide. Okay, but this is your pool activity screen. If you click on the link, or if you click on that plus sign for the custodial bank information, it'll expand and give you account information, bank information, and your ABA numbers. And you can see also here the pool transfer history has been expanded. It'll show you that there's issuance information about this pool and then transfer information about this pool. So you can see the history of the transfers for that pool. All right. Now clicking on that 11710A link takes you to the View 11710A screen. And this is this provides you information about the 11710A and all the 5 sections within the 11710A. The link here, click here to go back to the pool activity screen, will take you back to this pool activity screen. Okay, so clicking this takes you to the 11710A, clicking back takes you back to this screen, navigation-wise. All right, within pool accounting single family, if you click on the loan tab, it's lit up there in blue. You have a loan list, pool list, edit loan, and liquidate loan. By default, it takes you to the edit loan, which is your loan activity. You notice a gray bar here. Above the gray bar is some loan information mixed with sensitive record information. You have some borrower information here. And below the line is your activity record or your activity data for the reporting month. A couple things to note about the screen. There is a link here in this red box to the pool activity for that pool. So you're working on a pool of 5 loans. You're on loan 2 of 5. You can click that link and that will take you to the pool activity record. Other things to note here, this is the loan master. The loan master will give you data about information that is on the loan that RFS has for the loan, and then you'll be able to see that and then come back to this screen. There's another expandable plus sign here at the bottom for various loan information. If you click that, that'll expand and show you the various fields. And then at the bottom of the loan activity screen, the edit loan screen, is the save button. If you want your information saved, if you've made a change on this and you navigate away without hitting save, it will not save that information. So you need to save your data every time you're making a change to that screen. All right. All right. When you expand that various loan information button, it will show you the various fields. You could see all the fields on the various loan information, or the various loan record, are listed here, from living units and loan purpose all the way down to loan origination date. Okay. All right. And now I would turn this over to Christy to talk about liquidation.
Thank you, Steve. I also did want to point out that Juan put in the group chat, he says this screen, meaning the pool screen, helps identify the age of the pool for APM 18-01 loans. So that would be at the bottom of the pool screen. In the expanded, there is the pool transfer history, or the pool history. So that gives you the issuance date, just like Steve said, in any of the transfers that has happened to that pool. So thank you, Juan. Okay, and thank you, Steve, for your presentation. To liquidate a loan in RFS, you navigate to the loan screen and click on Liquidate Loan in the dark blue bar, which is highlighted here with the red box. Then you would input the last installment date, down here like in the bottom left-hand corner. Select one of the 6 removal reasons from the drop-down box. Enter the actual removal date that the loan actually liquidated during the month. Then you will enter the liquidation interest and the liquidation principal on the right side of the screen. After you enter the liquidation principal, the liquidation balance autofills as RFS has taken the opening UPB and subtracting the liquidation principal. Ensure you click the Save at the bottom of the Liquidate screen, and then navigate over to the Pool screen and click the Save and Summarize Pool button. By saving and summarizing the pool, RFS moves the liquidations in full FIC and the liquidation balance over to the liquidation fields on the pool screen, which means the issuer will be passing through these liquidation funds to the security holder. This also lowers the RPB of the pool for the current reporting month. Using the thumbs up or the thumbs down Can you give me a thumbs up if there are 6 valid removal reason codes that Ginnie Mae uses? Give me a thumbs down if there are not 6 removal reasons. So the thumbs are located up there where you like raise your hand. If you do that little drop down, there's an agree and a disagree. Okay, good. I'm seeing some thumbs. That is wonderful. Thank you so much. So yes, there are 6 active Ginnie Mae removal reasons codes that Ginnie Mae uses at this time. Colin, could you please clear the thumbs? You may wonder how liquidation interest and principal are calculated for inputting on the liquidate loan screen. Here is a sample liquidation amortization schedule. As all Ginnie Mae loans are scheduled, meaning the issuer must pass through scheduled interest and scheduled principal whether you collect the payment or not. All liquidated loans are amortized 1 month greater than the current reporting month. This reduces the liquidation principal balance by the scheduled principal, which is included on the pool record. The total interest due and the total principal remitted numbers at the bottom of the liquidation record is needed for the liquidate loan screen in RFS. Most servicing systems will complete a similar liquidation report like the one displayed. I will now turn it back over to Steve.
Thanks, Chrissy. Okay, we're going to cover a few things here that will help organize some of your reporting. And this is the pool list and the loan list. As we talked about before, we're in pool accounting single family. We're in the pool submodule, and you can see pool list and pool activity are your options there. Pool list will list all of your pools that are in your portfolio, and you can organize them by the pool ID, the pool type, program, the pool status. It provides the number of loans, the total number of loans, those that have been reported and those that have been liquidated. So this is as of your current reporting. If you click on any of those column headers, it will sort for you so you can organize what you need to see. From this, well, first let me ask, raise your hand if you've used this pool list feature. Okay, I see a few. Okay, great. And if you type in the chat, how do you use this this screen to assist you with your reporting of pool and loan information? Let's see if anybody has any comments that might indicate how you would use this. So just so you know, as we're waiting for those, if you click on your pool ID, it will take you to a list of loans within that pool. If you click on your pool status, it will take you to the pool activity for that pool. Okay. So those are your 2 links from this screen. All right, Darlene, we use it to verify the loans within the pool. Very good. Yeah, that is a valid use. These 3 columns at the end could be very helpful in your analysis. total loans, reported loans, liquidated loans. All right. Thank you for your comment, Darlene. Okay, next, under Pool Accounting Single Family, the Loan tab, if you want to look at the loan list and you go in directly, you're not coming from the pool list, you will get a message that says, please enter a pool ID to the pool list. So you've got 100 pools. It doesn't know which one you want to look at a loan list for, so you've got to put your pool ID in your pool, the pool ID box, and hit go. All right. Once you do that, you'll see the loans that are listed under that pool. Here, the unique loan ID, this is your internal issuer loan ID and the loan status. If you click this link or this link for the loan, it will take you to the loan activity screen where you can look at the loan. Now we're going to talk about, now we're in the activity screen, and if you notice, we have an RFS 204 exception at the top. This is one of the important exceptions that you might receive during a reporting period. And if you see the note here, it tells you that you need to enter all the required data for that reporting period in this box. As I mentioned, everything below that gray bar is your reporting information for the period. The fact that you got an RFS 204 indicates that we have not received your loan information for that loan for the period. And then you must hit save in order to have that saved. Okay, so RFS 204 is basically a missing loan. Conversely, at the pool level, an RFS 111 is a missing pool. This indicates that we do not have security RPB and information regarding the pool information for that period. Okay, so RFS 204, RFS 111 indicate missing data. Okay, and the Save and Summarize button at the bottom of the screen is critical for your reporting because you need to have all your loan and pool activity reported, so when you hit the Save and Summarize button, it can correctly provide you with feedback regarding your pool and loan accounting for that pool. Now, we used to have a Save button at the pool level and a Summarize button at the pool level. And what would occur is we would have the pool level saved and the Summarize was not clicked. And so the pool, and so the issue that we were seeing was that some people would forget to put the summarized pool information. So now when a pool is saved, it's automatically summarized. We combine those two into one function. So make sure that your loan information is saved, and then your pool information is saved. And once you click that Save and Summarize at the pool level, it will calculate the appropriate calculations for that loan and pool. All right. All right, and lastly, I want to talk a little bit about the download. Previously, we talked about in exception feedback. The download had the FA list. There are also other downloads that you can get. You can download a list of your exceptions You can download liquidations. These are liquidations that you have reported for the month. And you can even see several months of information within those liquidations. So this exceptions is for the current month. The liquidations is one or more months. Then the downloads, the summary is your RFS summary screen that Christy covered earlier within exception feedback. You can download all of your 11710As if you want to see those in a CSV, and you can also download forbearance data. Forbearance data is a separate reporting, and here is where you would access your download forbearance data. So for the issuers on the call, if you could put a sticker on the download tools that you have used. This could be one or more of the downloads that you can get from exception feedback.
And Steve, if I may add, on the download 11710A, that Excel spreadsheet does have the bank account balances on it. So that may assist you in balancing your bank account.
Excellent, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I know we are pretty much right at time also, Steve.
I will turn this over to Christy.
Thank you so much, Steve. Colin, will you post our first polling question? And I know we are right at time, so we will move through these next few slides quickly. So when do you summarize a loan record? So if everyone could participate. And the question again is, when do you summarize a loan record? Not a poll record, a loan record. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. And actually, we only have 10 people that picked the correct answer, which is C, because this is a trick question. You do not summarize a loan record. You save and sum a poll record. Sorry, we were being a little sneaky there. Colin, if you could post the next question, please. So which screen do you use to locate the bank account information? So this is something that Steve went over. It is one of the little boxes at the bottom of the screen where you click to expand the custodial bank information. So we will give this a few more seconds. I'll go ahead and end the poll. So the correct answer is the poll activity screen. So there is the little plus sign at the bottom of on the left-hand side of the poll activity screen, where it does give you your bank account and your ABA numbers. Colin, if you could post our last polling question, please. Thank you. Which records are required each month? I will give this a few more seconds. Okay, and I'll go ahead and end the poll. And the correct answer is C. The loan and pull records are required each month. The sensitive and various records, like Steve explained, should only be reported when there is a change. Colin, if you could remove the question. So now we will move right into our group activity. So where we are going to analyze an exception feedback screen. So here we do have a snippet of an exception feedback download. So if you could place a sticker on which exception code shows a missing pull. Please. Wonderful. Yes, that is exactly right. Those are up there at the top, the RFS 111 exceptions. So then do I have anyone that would like to unmute their microphone and tell me when those should be cleared? I'm sure I sounded, like a broken record, repeating it.
Hey, Christy, this is Ryan from Planet.
Hey, Ryan.
So this is the 7 p.m. day 2 deadline.
That is correct, Ryan. So that would be the RFS 111s and the RFS 204s. Thank you so much. So now our next question is, which exception code indicates the ending pull balance needs to be reviewed? There's only a couple of those here on the screen, so you can place a sticker on those. Oh, and thank you, Helen and Darlene, for replying in the chat for the 7 p.m. second business day. Okay. Wonderful. Yes, so the exception code that indicates the pull balance needs to be reviewed is the pull 452. So thank you everyone so much for participating in our quick group activity today. So we'll move on. So if anyone has any questions, you can type them in the chat box or unmute your microphone. From today's session, we do have our email addresses provided here at the bottom of the screen. And also, I would like to say if any of the Ginnie Mae account executives would like to provide any comments, those would be welcome. So I do hope that everyone joins us on Friday for our final session, which we will be covering additional reporting requirements and cache and recons. Thank you for your attendance today. I will now turn it over to Yolanda.